This year, thanks to winning a spot in a discounted price hotel room through my school's anime club, I was able to attend AnimeBoston for the first time. If you've watched my videos before, you know that this isn't the first convention I've attended, but it's definitely my favorite one I've been to so far. My friends and I, we left on Thursday. We had to wait a while for this one guy in our 2-car caravan to show up at our meeting place. And, you know, we found various ways to occupy ourselves. We were waiting, including playing video games and blowing a vuvuzela out the window and trying to frighten people. And this little tidbit. What are you looking for now?
Thinking.
Yes, those are plastic diamonds. And yes, my friend is wearing them in his eyes. Anyway, eventually, that one guy we were waiting for showed up, and we set off. We got there too late for Thursday registration, so we had to get up really early on Friday to get in line for registration and to go get in line for the opening ceremonies. Say hello, Kristen.
Oh, hi.
This is the first video I'm taking of AnimeBoston.
I'm gonna take a picture of you taking a video.
That's a little awkward, but okay. We're in the pre-reg line, AnimeBoston. The line moved mad fast, and then it stopped. We're gonna be here forever.
Yes.
What day is it?
It is Friday.
Friday, getting down on Friday.
We so excited.
Everybody.
Oh, fine. You can keep saying it. No, it's Friday.
Hi, I'm a random guy. Line cut is horrible.
How many years ago was that?
2, 3. 3 years.
3 years ago. 5.5 hours in line for us.
That's fucking terrible.
Yep.
We were one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
I would just give up and go home.
We almost did the same thing, but then we're like, we've waited 2 hours.
We shouldn't have, at that point we really should have just gotten up, gone to the mall and gone shopping, looking back, but
But every time we're like, well, we waited 2 hours, now we've waited for 3 hours, we're not giving up now, we've waited 4. And then we finally saw the door, we're like, we're not giving up.
yeah. Stop looking at me, you're making me nervous.
My greatest fear is that none of the audio is going to come out because it's so loud here.
Yeah. I'll just talk right here. Look in my eye. You can hear me clearly, I'm guessing. Now you can't. Oh no. Oh. Can you tell that I'm like really kidding right now and I don't care and I'm just upset that you're filming me?
Hello!
Okay, Crystal's not upset.
At the opening ceremonies, there were a bunch of introductions of all the industry people that were there this weekend and like voice actors, which I have to admit I'm rather ignorant of. But it's still very exciting to be there. And then after the ceremonies, I went to my panels that I poured over the schedule for a long time and I figured out which ones I wanted to go to. I went to the panel about the difference between geisha and oiran. I caught the end of Gregor's panel, and I went to the Tom Whalen panel, and I went to the Miyazaki panel, I went to the Kabuki panel, and then I got in line for the Gurgamesh show. And there was this opening band too. They were okay. Some people thought they were really terrible. I didn't think they were that bad, but that's just me. But they did have this really metal keyboardist.
AnimeBoston!
It was just really, like, it struck me that these guys really love what they're doing. Because I look at the monitors and see, like, the drummer or the bassist mouthing the words of the song along with the vocalist. And it's just, they really love what they do. I can totally tell. And that was Friday. So convention update. Saturday, so busy, so many people. It's sometimes very difficult to move places, especially in the mall. And I feel bad for all the normal people that are just trying to shop, because it's so clogged with convention goers and cosplayers. People are just looking around all like, what are these crazy people doing here? It's impossible to get a seat in the food court. That's impossible. Took me a half hour to get lunch. The rest of that little vlog bit doesn't have a lot of substance to it. But just one thing I want to emphasize about this event is just the sheer scale of it. There was thousands and thousands of people. I don't know how many. I didn't take the time to Google how many. But there was tons and tons of people. And it's just one of those things that makes you feel very small, and it humbles you and makes you realize like how insignificant you are in the world. But also made me feel like I was part of something really important. Like, this event has the power to draw so many people to this location. And I also felt very privileged to be there at all, because if I hadn't won that discounted room spot through my anime club, I wouldn't have been there at all, because even sharing a room with 10 other people, which you're not supposed to do, it still is expensive. And here's some clips just to show you just how many people were there. These clips are from Friday and Saturday. About the Rickroll, but as it happened to me, so shall it happen to all of you. Now, probably my favorite panel that I attended on Saturday was the Dark Side Pokemon panel. And they had 5 panelists. They had Red, they had Professor Juniper, they had Koga, they had Giovanni, and they had Lieutenant Surge, and they had a Gary Oak and a Professor Oak planted in the front row of the audience, and they were also part of the panel. And yeah, they just talked about like glitches and weird Pokedex entries and weird locations and people. And so yeah, here's some of my favorite bits.
Next, Golem. Its boulder-like body is extremely hard. It can easily withstand dynamite blasts without taking damage. Children trainers, we need to have a talk.
And they say I'm a villain?
I want you to give me Pokedex entries saying things like, Togepi, its shell is filled with happiness, not this. 1, why are you telling me this? 2, where did you get dynamite?
Glitches is, as a protagonist, I can vouch for them. They are a lot of fun. Show of hands, who's used missing no clone items before? So just about all of you. Alright, and the thing is, glitches can majorly screw up your game. If you think about this from an in-universe perspective, these beings that are simply not meant to be are rewriting and tearing apart the universe as we know it. Next up, my personal favorite, Charizard M. The thing about Charizard M is, if you put it in a Pokedex, if you put it in a Pokebox, or if you put it in your party, all of those Pokemon will turn to Charizard M. It turns everything into Charizard, and it's awesome!
Stealth Rock!
Not on bad. Anyways, the terrifying part about this glitch is it only knows Splash!
Now that music is plenty terrifying, is it not? But what can be more terrifying than it? Backwards!
Oh god, through Safari's own trick, it is possible to get into Glitch City. It is an abysmal patchwork of all things simply not meant to be. It is possible to walk and bike on water like you're Jesus. There are fusions of cave floor sprites and signs. You just walk through here, and the further you go, the more you realize it was simply not meant to be. Walnut, New Jersey. And this one, I honestly don't even know how it made it in the game. It is extremely creepy, even by my standards. Cue Ball Luke. Now, if you look at his sprite, he looks pretty much just like the guy your mama warned you about. He's clad entirely in leather. He's wearing a codpiece over his crotch. He is carrying a whip. And when you fight him, he says, "Come out and play, little mouse. I'll treat you right." There is absolutely no mistaking what that is implying. You are 11. All I can say is, thank God Psychic was so broken in Generation 1 because I kicked his ass.
As you can see, the panelists discussed all of these things in character, and it was pretty funny, and I really did enjoy it. And after the panel, I went up to the guy that was Red, and I asked to get my picture taken with him because I was cosplaying Leaf, so we were therefore a matched pair. And after, he said to the Gary Oak from the panel, who was standing right there, "Oh, you know, Gary, when Leaf and I get married, will you be our best man?" And Gary Oak put his arms around both of us and said, "Well, I don't think that's going to be necessary, because you guys are going to be my 2 wives." It's probably one of my favorite stories from the con, to be honest. I thought it was pretty funny. I got a kick out of it. The rest of Friday, I sat in line for Stereo Pony, then I decided I didn't want to see Stereo Pony. So then I wound up walking around the mall, the adjacent malls, with a couple of my friends. And here's a clip from that.
Oh, this is the glass bridge.
The glass bridge.
The glass bridge.
Is this, you mean the Mall of America?
There's one on the other side when you want to go to the other mall.
Since I had a room through the anime club, for some reason the anime club decided our checkout time would be by 8:30, even though the hotel checkout is noon. And so we got up really early, Sunday basically, and so we got up really early, and basically all we had time to do was like eat, like one last trip to the artist alley if you wanted to, and then get on the train home, because I didn't want to be driving like really late in the day. I was tired as it was, and I almost fell asleep driving. I hope I can go next year. I really did enjoy myself. Hopefully it works out again if I can get another discounted room through the anime club. That's probably the only way that I could go, because otherwise it's just too expensive to pay for the room. And hopefully if I go, then I can see you guys there too. And so now I'll leave you with some footage from the departure train out of Boston.
Say hello or goodbye to the camera.
Bye, Boston.
Bye, Boston.
Say goodbye to Boston.
Guys, goodbye, Boston.
Bye, Boston. I'll see you when I come to school here.
Where are you gonna go?
UMass Boston.
Oh, cool.
I'm here coming. Hello.
Hello. Say goodbye to Boston.
Goodbye, Boston. I'll see you eventually.
Yeah, are you sure you don't
You know what you did?
What?
You know what you did, Boston.
You can do it handed in.
I want my money.
Well, no, you have back watching your...
Babe, stop filming. I'm really fat right now. I'm really fat. I can't be filmed. I can't be filmed right now. I'm really bloated and my hormones are raging and